Welcome, everybody, to another interview in the G100 wing of Authentic Harmony and Positive Masculinity. I'm absolutely delighted today to have Lucress Irizarry here with me, and she's going to delight us by talking about leadership harmony. Now, this is something that I'm really, really interested in because something we share is this passion for business leadership and corporate leadership, but it's also community leadership, I'm sure. So I'm going to invite Lucress to share, and I'm just going to say she's the G100 regional chair for Pennsylvania, and I hope one day to come and visit you there. But let's start by delving into what would you say you would like to share as your unique purpose within this wing and leadership harmony?
Thank you, Dr. Pauline, for this invitation to share about my unique purpose within the G100 wing of leadership harmony, particularly specifically in leadership harmony. So my focus is to make sure that leaders have harmony within themselves, so that they can provide the harmony external to themselves in their teams, in the systems, in their workplaces, and some of them are business owners, so within their businesses as well. I like to uh, do it from a perspective of operational excellence and operational empowerment. So it's not just about motivating and inspiring, but putting action to that motivation and inspiration so that all things can work together between their communication, their respect, their inspiration to their team, also influence within the organization, trust with their team members and also with those that they report to and clients, and finally with compassion.
Wow, so it's quite a tricky combination of things. How would you suggest that leaders embrace this, especially with regards to women and men working together? And maybe what are the challenges for women in particular, as we are usually called multitaskers? What do you think?
Yes, I would say that we are called multitaskers because we can think of many things at once. I don't believe that we do many things at once. So it's more task switching. Say that 15 times in a row. It's more task switching than multitasking. So doing one thing at a time. But yes, women think of many things, many tasks all at once. And there's layers of thinking. So to be the thinking in the forefront, like this interview, but I'm also thinking about what needs to be cooked for dinner. I'm thinking about the final things that I need to tie up with the client for business. I'm thinking about my trip that I'm planning for the weekend. These are all the things that are running in the background, like an operating system. So that's how women, as a woman, I can speak personally about that. Observing my sons and my husband, it's not as intense as that, I would say. There's one focus or maybe three, and that's it. And they are going toward that goal. But yes, that is the difference. And so understanding those differences is very important because when we understand each other as men and women, we are able to harmonize by playing to each other's strengths. So if I'm the thinker and I think in all these different layers, I can present it to the men who are in leadership positions, for example, and they can be better informed about the decisions that they're going to make.
I love that, and I think that I've not come across that before. So I'm going to borrow that from you. That switch, because one of the things I realize with men, which you and I have discussed, is that men switch, yes, no. So if we get to understand that we're switching with lots of many options, I think maybe we can do things better. Would you share an illustration of something that in the harmony, leadership harmony, you've encouraged your clients to do?
Yes, yes. So I'm an operations consultant and I go into businesses and I find the things that aren't operating well. I focus on operational wellness. And if it's not operating well, then I'll put a system or solution in place in order for that thing to be fixed. Whether it's the actual system that is being used, like a software system or platform, or if it's with the policies and procedures and workflows, or if it's with between leadership and the team. And in particular, I worked closely with a leader in healthcare who had lost some trust from the team because they did not trust them to fully execute on their jobs. There was some tension that was built up over the years, and the employees, they kept to themselves. They would not share as much information. They would do the work, but they were not necessarily communicating openly to the leader. And I worked with the leader to find out why they did not trust the staff. And it was a problem. It was an issue with delegation. And much of it came from past experiences where things didn't work out. And it really didn't have a whole lot to do with the current team. But they brought that, what I like to call baggage, into the situation at the workplace. And so that caused them to be not at ease and have dis-ease within themselves. So they were leading from a place of validation instead of a place of vision.
I think there's some wonderful messages in there around this difference between tension and stress, and also the need for trust. And what you're saying is that we need to trust ourselves and then trust other people. And as you explained that, I could see the energy developing, as I've experienced as well, with teams. So the idea of leadership harmony, maybe in our past experience of some traditional examples, hasn't been quite as trusting. If you had a magic wand, given that there are leadership tensions between men and women, what would you suggest to male leaders to do for female leaders?
I would say for male leaders to have more trust with women and their strengths, also have empathy. So, empathy is a big part of leadership in the way of understanding what the other person, or trying your best to understand how the person's feeling based upon what they're experiencing. Try to walk a little bit in their shoes. And when we take a position of empathy and we couple that with action, so we say, "Oh, I understand how you're feeling. I can see that, and here's how I want to alleviate the pain that you're going through or the challenge that you're experiencing." If men could do that, and equally if women could do that with men as well, because when men do have challenges, and sometimes we believe that, and I'm generalizing just based upon my experience, but sometimes we believe that it should just be inherent and they should intuitively know certain things about us and how we operate, but really they do not. And so we have to be more open in our communication in the work, especially in the workplace and in business, to share those differences and those challenges and be empathetic toward one another. So that's what I would definitely say needs to happen between men and women.
That's excellent. And I think in my experience, and probably yours, is sometimes people don't understand what empathy means. And also we have different understandings about words. And it's important to have what we call our magical conversations. So it has really been a delight having you here today. And I want to ask you, is there any one quote or something special you would like to leave our visitors with?
I would say that if you heal the leader, you heal the culture.
Oh,
Leaders,
I love that. Say it
yes,
again.
if you heal the leader, you will heal the culture. When you make leaders whole, then what happens is it's nothing but innovation and synergy in the organization. But when they're operating from brokenness, it doesn't work. It doesn't work well.
I think that's an absolutely beautiful piece of wisdom to end this interview. I want to thank you for being here, Lucress, and thank you for being part of this wing. You are absolutely magical. Thank you.
Thank you.